Welcome to Zoe's Treasures, where the vibe is vintage. Buckle up.
Hello, welcome to Zoe's Treasures. How is everybody this morning? Good morning, Strega Designs. Cricket Nick's favorite find, Susie this and that. Hope you guys are doing great. Good morning. Good morning, Southern Charm. Angel. Hello. We are finally at Friday. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Let's see here. Look at that. My husband made that just for today. So I can't talk already. I can't talk. Those of you that are sellers in here, we don't have a lot of people yet. Hopefully our numbers will go up in a little bit. But those of you who are sellers, who has shows today or tomorrow? Thanks, Southern Charm. So Whatnot's doing the reduced commission. There is going to be so many people on, but it's still a good day to have a show. So if you're a seller and you have a show today or tomorrow, throw your time in there. Let us know. Other than that, this week I've been on vacation from my full-time job this week, and it has been wonderful. Good morning, Mary. I got a hair like in my eye. I swear my hair is crazy today. So it is, okay, y'all, this is going to bug the crap out of me all morning. I've been on vacation this week. I have loved it. It has been so nice. I've got to go back Monday, and it's not that I'm dreading it, but I just really love, could I just do Whatnot full time? I would love that. Yeah, I would and I wouldn't. One, I wouldn't love it because I really do need my paycheck and health insurance, and I do kind of like what I do during the day. But I cannot tell you how much I've enjoyed just kind of like, you know, doing like sourcing, getting ready for my shows, catching up on life stuff. So I've been on PTO, haven't gone anywhere, spent the week just totally catching up on life, and it has been wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in if you're just joining. We are doing our chat show. Y'all, what do you guys got planned for this weekend? Any fun 4th of July stuff? So we are going to go see fireworks tonight. I know fireworks can be really triggering to some people, so I won't ask if everybody's going to do that, but any good barbecues or anything you guys are going to be attending today or tomorrow? My daughter is in a parade tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. Actually, I say looking forward. I'm going to miss most of it because I'm going to do a show while she's in the parade, but then I'll catch the last half of it. So that's always fun. Sourcing and catching up on paperwork. Hey, I have done the same thing all week. Hello from Australia. How cool is that? Hello, Nikki B. That is so cool. I don't know if I've ever had somebody from Australia in my show before, so that's pretty neat. All right. I have some stuff to talk about, but as always, any questions, I would rather, talk about and answer your guys' questions if I can. Hold on, you were telling me something. Let's scoot over. Okay, there we go. Well, welcome to Whatnot, Nikki. This is an awesome place to be, a really good community. So welcome. Mary, you're going to organize and catch up. A great time to do that. Most of us have 3-day weekends, so that's really cool. But again, if you guys have questions, I would much rather answer questions and do that than just talk about what's on my list. But I do have a list of stuff. First thing I want to talk about, my big announcement. So I kind of mentioned it on Monday, but you may have noticed we have a new logo. Bringing the world together. Awesome. It is, isn't it? So let's do my husband's going to show you our new logo here. I am very excited, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the background. I'm going to be quiet so he can do his thing real quick. There we go. So somewhat, thank you so much, Southern Charm. Yes, he is hard at work. You may have noticed we've already gone and changed every single one of our thumbnails. My little, what's it called? Your little icon next to your name. That has changed. We've changed it on our website. So we're slowly getting it changed over. But I wanted to talk about why we're changing it. And good morning, Natural State of High. And the reason why I'm changing this, and it brings up a lot of feelings, and I'm really conflicted about this. I'm going to be super transparent. Thank you, Mary. I'm going to be super transparent about this because I have good and bad feelings, and I'm like, I've spent a whole week trying to figure out how to talk about this. What exactly do I say? How do I express what I'm feeling? Trying to even identify what I'm feeling around this logo thing. And I know some people will be like, oh, it's just a picture, it's a logo, it's no big deal. But to me, it is a big deal. If you've been around, good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July. If you've been around my shows, you know I'm really big on branding. And I talk a lot about branding and how important it is to get your logo or your name or whatever you're identifying with and get it on everything. So to me, my logo was a big deal. And I found out, I kind of knew, but I was reached out by another seller on here, somebody that I've come to know a little bit, and that I respect their opinion. And they reached out to me and they're like, hey, and they sent me a picture and they're like, did you know this person has a logo that's just like yours? And I went into their show thinking it was you. I did not know it. And off the top of my head, it is a big deal. Isn't a logo? It is a big deal. Off the top of my head, at first, I was like, you know what? When I first created my logo, I created it on Canva. It's free art. It doesn't belong to me. It's not copyright. It's available for anybody to use. I don't own claim to that. All I did was take the free art from Canva and I put in our name, maybe change the color or two. I think that was my first mistake, and we'll talk about that later because this is where my conflict comes in. So I was like, you know, legally, they can do whatever they want. See, Southern Charm, there are two people now. Yes, so there was one for sure that I'm going to talk about because that was one that was brought to my attention. There was another one that I personally saw about 2 months ago, and it was a brand new seller. And this is the difference I want to make when I talk about this. And that's the one I saw about 2 months ago was a brand new seller. Like literally, you could tell by looking at their number sold and how many followers, you could tell that they were brand new to the app that had the logo. So it was from Canva, free for everybody. I don't own it, right? So part of me is like, Tracy, you can't be mad. You should have done something a little more original. So part of it was like, hey, I'm going to accept the responsibility where I own it. The other side of it is thank you. Good morning, Baker's Bees. The other side of it, where my conflicted feelings come in, is the person not the person who brought it to my attention, but the one that was using it. The person that was using that logo was a good customer of mine. It is somebody who had been around my shows for at least 8 months to a year. I didn't research all the way back. I wasn't trying to be too obsessive about it, but this person was very familiar with me, with my shows, with my logo. They were a customer long before, and they were a buyer long before they were a seller. They have just recently started selling, and it was a conscious decision on their part to use the exact same logo that I had with their full knowledge that that was my logo. Now, is it wrong legally? No, it's Canva, it's free art. Ethically, just because something isn't wrong legally doesn't make it right. And I felt very offended by it. I'm not going to lie. And normally I don't come on here and I'm not going to name the seller. I'm not going to bash people. But I mean, I was pissed. I was going to put it out there. I was really upset. Now, Noelle and I had talked about rebranding for a long time. Southern Charm, Natural State of High, thank you for like agreeing, kind of backing me up on that. Exactly. Just because you can't wear it, should you? You know, just because you can wear it. So, you know, we had talked about rebranding for a while, but most of you, a lot of you in this room are also buyers of mine. You know that my logo is on everything. I have it on stickers on the outside of my box. I put it on postcards in my box. Rebranding is not like a simple little choice for me. It involves money and a significant amount of it on my part if I'm going to replace everything. So exactly, because of the history, it just didn't sit well with me. So we thought about rebranding. It was like, yeah, let's wait till our printed materials, till that supply gets low, and then we can kind of do everything at once. It would make more sense. So while the rebranding was coming, I felt once I found out that this other person was doing this, that I needed to rebrand sooner. So hence we have a new logo. I am very happy with it. Did I use Canva for it? Yes, I did. However, we significantly changed things on it, picked different pieces of different artwork and pulled it together to make it more original and more ours. Changed colors, did a lot of things. Lesson learned in this. Thank you for you guys for kind of backing me up. I really do like. This has really been on my mind all week long.
Thank you.
But lesson learned for those of you who are maybe just starting to sell. Think about this. Think about your logo when you go into it, because I didn't think about that when I first came on Whatnot. So, and when I was reselling before Whatnot, I really didn't have a logo. I used Zoe's Treasures, but I really didn't. It wasn't this big thing. On Whatnot, it's so visible that I felt I needed one, and I kind of pulled, did it really quick, pulled that free stuff from Canva without changing it a whole lot. And this is what happened. I mean, I can't stop somebody from using it. So maybe that's just something that I've learned the hard way that I can pass along. Thank you. Pass along to new sellers, is to maybe think about that ahead of time. Not that you shouldn't use Canva. I think Canva is wonderful. You can absolutely use Canva. Just maybe change it up a bit more to make it more unique to you. That's the lesson I learned. And so we have a new logo. For the printed material, those will still be around a little bit. I'm not going to waste it. So while we make the transition, everything electronically is our new logo. The printed stuff is going to take a little bit of time. As I said, this was kind of a quicker decision than what we had anticipated it being. But let's talk about this in not just the logo and how it affects me. But if you're a new seller starting out or just coming on the app, think about your name too, because I think this applies to names. I'm going to use, and I don't know this seller, so I'm not calling them out in a bad way, but I'm going to use the Hodgepodge Place as a great example. Here's somebody who has been working her butt off for close to 2 years on this app, a lot longer outside of this app, working her butt off. And that name, you hear the Hodgepodge Place, you know who that is. You think about her, you think about Christine, her realness, her vulnerability. She has made something of that name, right? Well, there's other people that come on the app and they have names very, very similar. Maybe 1 letter off or 2 letters off or put a number at the end. And it's not that we own the names. I just think it's something that we need to be conscious of. If you're going into selling, if you're a new seller, it's something to be conscious of. There's a lot of people that have whatever Treasures. That's popular, but the first part of the name is different, right? So I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'm explaining it or expressing myself correctly. But I just think giving each other that courtesy is highly important. So I'm not going to harp on it, but that I did want to kind of just talk about the logo change and what happened. Thank you. I'm still, you could tell I'm still really conflicted about it. Oh, my husband has something to say.
Clear as mud.
Clear as mud. It is what it is. I have only ever blocked 2 people on this app. I've been on here since January of 2024. Actually, it's like November, but I really didn't do much on there. So really selling since January 2024. I've only ever blocked 2 people in that time, and this person was one of them. And here's the difference. This person that I blocked clearly was a customer, clearly knew what they were doing. I felt as though they were trying to build their success off of the success that I have had. Oh, thank you so much, Gothic Princess. I'm not a big time seller. I am not like wildly crazy successful. Everybody knows who I am on this app. But I have worked hard and I've built something up for myself, and I'm really proud of that. And I felt that this person was trying to like piggyback off of that. They do say that imitation is a form of flattery. I was not flattered in this case. I just wasn't. Now, the other person I mentioned that I saw a couple months ago, they were brand new. They weren't a customer of mine. They probably never even heard of me. They probably came on the app, went to Canva and got that logo. It wasn't even, it was a complete accident. It wasn't like they were copying. My husband's over here saying, breathe, Tracy. He can hear me getting riled up. Okay, so that's that. I am going to move on. Let's talk about, first of all, welcome in everybody. It is different, isn't it? Happy 4th of July. Y'all, if you have questions, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, please put it in the chat. I do have a list, but as always, I would much rather talk about what you guys want to talk about. We are, let's talk about just some upcoming raid trains that are coming up. I know ones that I am on, and we are starting a new one, so I'm super excited. I am teaming up with another seller on here, so I'll tell you about that. But Dollar Holler and Battle of the Best is coming up this month. So I am on both of those again. Dollar Holler is oh goodness, that is July 11th. I don't have much time. My husband's shaking his head. He hates Dollar Holler. No, he doesn't hate Dollar Holler. He hates me being on it because I get very like obsessive about it. And I take over our dining room, which he does not like. So, but that's coming up, Battle of the Best. This month on Battle of the Best, I don't have it ready yet to show you because honestly, I just picked it up and then I had to contact the train conductor to make sure that my item was okay. So I'm going to tell you about it. Dollar Holler was fun, wasn't it? I am hoping this time I have no technical glitches and I can get to at least 50 items. I got 44 last time. My goal is 50 this time. Baby needs shoes. That's so cute. My name came to me in a dream one night. The next morning, I could not recall it until the end of that day. Oh, that's really cool. Thank you for the compliment on the logo.
Thank you.
So yeah, Dollar Holler was fun. Hope to get 50, but Battle of the Best. So I have an ephemera pack, and this is so cool. And like I said, I had to get permission because you're not supposed to do like bundles of stuff. So I reached out. I'm like, hey, is this okay? Because this tells a story, and I made sure it was okay. But I have a whole bunch of ephemera that follows a soldier through World War I, and it like tells his story through World War I. Oh, cool, Lake Erie Vintage. I'm gonna have to pop in and see you today. And I just thought it was so cool. There's a letter from Windsor Castle from when the soldiers would arrive on Normandy Beach. They would be handed these letters from King George V at the time. So there's this original letter from 1918, I think it was. And just all this memorabilia, this ephemera that follows the trail on this journey of this soldier. It's just this farmer, a simple farmer from Ohio who, he hears that there's this war going on that's across the ocean, and all of a sudden then America comes into it. So it was cool. So that's what I'm going to bring, and I'm super excited. Mary, do you use OBS for these cool things popping up? My husband does these. He does not use OBS. I couldn't tell you what he uses because I don't understand it all.
We started using OBS a long time ago. And then when they started having some issues with the connectivity, we changed. I started making it a little bit more, a little different.
All right, so the other raid train that I am teaming up with Choco Dog 6. Some of you may have seen her. She was on our new seller raid train recently. We are going to create a junk jar raid train, and this is on August 2nd. It's going to be just a few hour raid train in the morning. I've just done the logo, but I haven't even sent it over to her to get her opinion. We are co-hosting this, so we are doing it together. This is the first big announcement of it, so I'm super excited. I learned about junk jars because of Choco Dog, so it was a natural thing of like, oh, well, this would be a cool raid train to reach out to her and say, hey, you want to do this with me? Because, I wouldn't even know about junk jars if it was not for Choco Dog. So I'm super excited about it. Have you guys seen those build your own vignette shows? This is going to be like a build your own vignette raid train, but oh, cool, Southern Charm. Yeah, it's really, I'm super excited about it. There she is, Choco Dog right there. So we're gonna do it like oh wait, I'm missing something, hold on. Oh, thank you so much. I missed your first comment when it flew up so fast, Choco Dog. I'm super excited to partner with you. I couldn't have done this the minute I thought about it, I'm like, it has to be you. It wouldn't make sense if it wasn't. So, so you've seen the build your own vignette. So this one, the sellers will come, they'll be on there. We're gonna have like 30-minute slots, and you'll have a selection of jars and a selection of like a baggie full of goodies that you can put in the jar. And then the sellers will also have some completed junk jars. So I just learned about what junk jars are Choco Dog, please jump in the chat and put some more stuff in there if I am not describing these correctly. But they could be anything. You can have a jar and you can fill it with anything. And the coolest thing with Choco Dog, she just had a show yesterday about them. And the coolest thing that she said a couple of times, which I was like, oh man, that's the key point right there, is that you don't have to dust them. So this is Choco Dog's like, and I wish I had something. I don't even have something to show you. You have a jar with all your little trinkets in there, and you don't have to dust all of those other things. You could just dust the jar. That's so cool. It's your passion. That has to be the tagline. Oh, we have to have that for a tagline. It's your passion in a jar. So I'm super excited, and I am going to predict that junk jars are going to be the next trend on Whatnot. If not, we are going to start that trend because these are like vignettes, but they're more compact, and I'm super excited about this. So we'll be reaching out about filling spots for that, and that'll be coming up very soon. So I'm super excited about create a junk jar. Choco Dog has junk jars all around her home. Yeah, and think about the possibilities. Who's the heart tapping with our hot dogs and what? Wait a minute, hold on, y'all. I'm not asking to give me hearts just to do it, but I want to see, are these really? Hold on, I don't see them on my screen. I got to see this. When you're tapping for hearts, are they really hot dogs? Hold on, I got to open this up and see. Mine are just hearts. Can I give myself hearts? I can't. No, I can't give myself hearts. Oh, okay. I'm trying to see. I want to see hot dogs. All right. That's cool. I can't see them, but I'm gonna have to go into other shows and check out the hot dogs today. And eagles and cakes. Oh, that's pretty neat. No, you didn't distract. That's totally cool. I can't wait to go play in other people's shows and give them hot dogs and cakes and eagles. All right, so we talked about raid trades coming up. So let's see, what else? You guys, if you have questions, something you want to talk about, throw it in there. Well, I did do a poll, so let's talk about this poll. And I'm glad you guys in. I'm sorry if this was asked, but how is free shipping working out for you? Beth kept secret. You must have read my mind because I was just about to talk about the poll and free shipping. So I did a poll just because I was curious. Good morning, a reworker's passion. I was curious from a buyer's perspective, would you rather have shipping being free or dollar starts? And on the poll, it looks like dollar starts is free shipping is far outweighing dollar starts. Now, in the perfect world, I would want both. That's me as a buyer, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to have both. But I was saying, okay, if you could only pick one or the other. So that was the poll. So far, free shipping is working out wonderful for me. I am super excited about it. I have changed all my shows to free shipping now, including my Monday show, which I wasn't going to change for a while, but I have changed that to free shipping. So everything I'm doing from now on is going to be free shipping, except one show that I have, which is a dollar start show. It's like a clear, like a clearance, clean the shelves type show that I try to do once a quarter. That one I have on reduced. It's not till September, so I may still change my mind before September. But for right now, that's the only show I have is reduced shipping. I like it. And here's what I'm finding, because y'all know I did the 2 months of dollar starts and then I've switched over to the free shipping. This is the one big difference that I have found between the two. And I'm not against dollar starts. If I could do it, I would be doing it. I'm not against them at all. What I like about the free shipping is, for me, it's more controllable. Okay. So think about it like this. When you do a dollar start, you have no idea where that's going to end up, right? It may sell for $1. It may sell for $100. Who knows? You have no control. I'm going to admit it. I am an absolute control freak. I want a plan. I want it laid out. I want to know how it's going to go. Dollar starts for a control freak is a little nerve-wracking. With free shipping, I can control that a little bit, right? I know just about every order, every customer. You're a control freak too, Mary? Yes, I'm absolutely. But with free shipping, I know every order is going to cost me $9.21, right? Right off the bat. Somebody buys one thing, for the most part, unless it's under £1, it's going to be $9.21. So what do? I could quit doing so many discounts. I can raise prices a little bit. Now, I've been very careful about raising prices because people come to expect a certain price, and I don't want to disappoint that. I need to keep that consistent, or else I'm just going to lose buyers and it's not going to be good, right? but you can control it a little bit. I can control it by the size of items I put in my show, right? I can do, just like when you're talking, no, let me scratch that. So I can control it by the size of the items I put in my show. I don't have to put big old heavy things that are going to weigh 10 pounds in my show, right? That are going to cost a ton to ship. I could do smaller items. If it's something you're thinking about, and I've heard this advice, it's not just mine, I've heard a lot of sellers say this. If you're thinking about doing even reduced or free shipping, do the jewelry, the stickers, smaller clothing, the stuff that could fit in a flat rate, so you could control that. So that's kind of why I feel so much more comfortable with the free shipping, is because I feel like I have some semblance, some control over that process. I can also reduce my cost in other places to compensate for that free shipping. I also can look back and get at my prior shows and get a kind of a good feel on what shipping, a good estimate on what shipping will cost me. So to me, it's just more controllable from a business perspective. And for right now, that's what works for me. So I'm going to keep doing free shipping. I love it. It is. So yeah, all of the shipping is an expense at tax time. So, and that's the same too. If you're doing reduced and you have expense on shipping, it's all an expense that you can put on your books. Now, any expense, any write-off. Now, this is my big thing. Those of you who may be new to me, I do tax and accounting shows at the end of the year. So around tax season, I will focus on accounting issues, tax issues. I walk through a Schedule C. But just because it's a write-off, don't do something just because it's a write-off. That's an expense. It's still an expense to your business. It's no different than any other expense. Make sure it's part of a thought-out plan that you're doing. So I'm going to do it. I think the buyers appreciate it. I have absolutely seen more viewers in my room, increase in buyers, increase in bids. The other thing you can do, I'm not doing giveaways anymore. I am doing giveaways in this show. Let me get one going. I'm doing giveaways just in my talk shows because I like to. But on my regular shows, I'm not doing giveaways anymore. Let's see here. Let me get one going. All right, so what we are doing for a giveaway, let's see, free shipping provides quantifiable data. There you go, Green 13, that is it exactly. So we are doing some, a little ephemera pack. You get a My Vibe is Vintage sticker, some ephemera here. That is the giveaway that is up and going right now. So yeah, I am more comfortable with the free shipping than the dollar starts for me personally. Now, eventually, I hope to get to a dollar starts, but I've said it before. My problem with dollar starts, what ultimately led me to stop doing it was I was not able to keep up with the inventory. I work full time. I have a family. My daughter's involved in a ton of sports. I only have so many hours in the day that I can source and get stuff and get it ready for shows. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't keep up with the volume of inventory. Like my shelves were depleted. That's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining about that. That is an amazing problem to have. But in order to continue to bring stuff to people on a regular basis, which consistency is something you still need, I wasn't able to do it on dollar starts. I just couldn't keep up with the inventory. And why is my chat? Oh, it's because all right, y'all, I can't see my chat because I'm going to take this poll down. How do I take the poll down here? Because I can't see my chat. Was stuff selling for $1 or was it getting bid up? Trim goods at the very beginning, a lot of it sold for $1. Hold on, I can't see my chat very well because of this poll is up here and is blocking my chat. So I am trying to figure out. Let me take this poll down, you guys, real quick. Sorry, I hate to keep you. I can't see it. I'm sorry.
On the 3 dots.
Okay, on the 3 dots, I do not see it. I do not have an end poll. My love, would you like to come over? Oh, there it is. Got it. Found it. Okay. End poll. There we go. All right. Now I can see my chat. Sorry if I missed your question. All right. Was stuff selling for $1 or was it getting bid up? At first it was selling for $1. Here's the thing with the dollar. Now, this is my own opinion. This is how I think it works. I think there's a point where it tips and you become successful. I think there's like this ramping up and then you hit like this tipping point where dollars become successful. Because if you're not a dollar seller and all of a sudden you go to a dollar, it's going to take a while for your buyers to catch on, right? One show, maybe it's a fluke. You got to do a few shows before people start getting into their heads, hey, this is a consistent thing. Then that starts attracting more people. So the dollars start, but it doesn't just happen in one show. I think it takes a few shows. So there was this ramping up period where a lot of things sold for $1. I lost some money. Some stuff got bid up. But then I got to a point where I was getting more viewers. And it was the first time ever in almost 2 years on this app that I was having completely sold out shows. But it took probably 7 or 8 shows before I got there. I did 2 months of this, so I did well over 20 shows. I was doing 3 to 4 shows a week. Let's say 3 because one was a talk show. So like 3 selling shows a week. But you have this ramping up. And then it got to a point where things were getting bid up. Most stuff was going 3 to 12. And I think had I stayed with it longer, I would have started to see higher and higher margins on my items. The problem again was I couldn't keep up with the inventory. And that was poor planning on my part from the get-go. Let's see. Giveaways are my nemesis. I mess them up every time. I put a special box in and add something. And you know what, Choco Dog, giveaways aren't even necessary. You don't have to do giveaways. So because I know the dollar saw you get about 50 cents, the processing fee makes. So trim goods. Yep. So Green 13 also says the same thing. Dollar starts definitely a loss leader at the beginning. Totally agree. And trim goods, that is true. You are right. You're not incorrect in the fact that if you sell something for $1, you make very little money on whatnot. There's a huge psychological factor behind it that it's one, the dollar draws people in. If I have an item that's sitting here, I don't even know if I have something that's sitting here, I don't know. If I have an item that's here that's worth, you know it, you see it and you're like, oh, that's worth like $15 and she's auctioning it for $1, heck yeah, I'm gonna bid on that. It draws people in. And I saw it, it worked. I mean, there were so many positives, everything else was going up. The bids after a while, the bids started to go up. More viewers in my room. Green 13 is in here. He is a prime example. If you have not watched his shows, go watch his shows. Another one, there's two $2 start sellers that are very successful that I would recommend. Green 13 and ilovediscounts.com. Both of them run solely dollar starts, at least for most of their shows. Real quick, Southern Charm, you're going to get that giveaway. Congratulations. Both of them run dollar starts. And watch this stuff. Very little goes for $1, but it takes time. You got to get to that point. It just hurts as a seller to sit there and eat loss after loss and have them go pack and take that to the post office. Like it does. Trump Gods, I sell. Sorry, my microphone. I sell mainly breakables. 99% of what I sell are breakable items. And yeah, I have to use a lot of bubble wrap and things I would sell for $1. One, you have to be happy. You can't be like, oh, you only bid $1. Like you've got to be like, congratulations, good grab, and move right along, right? You've got to be happy for them, and then you've got to pack it the same way as if you're packing a $1,000 item, and it does hurt. Yeah, I agree with you, but eventually that stops happening for the most part. Now, do the dollar sellers occasionally have something that sells for $1? Yeah, they do. But you can't look at it per item either. This is the thing with dollar starts, and this is where I think a lot of people miss it. You cannot look at each item and say, oh, I paid 10 for this pen and it just went for $1. You have to look at your whole show. Because yeah, this may have gone for $1, but then this coffee cup may have gone for 20. It's averages over a show. My personal opinion, a Reworker's Passion agrees. Thank you so much. Yes, packing material is expensive, and I'll touch on that in a minute. Some buyers are savages. You know what? I don't even know if they're savages. I've had some of my very, very best buyers be in my dollar shows and get things for $1, and you know what? I was happy for them. They got a good deal. But why would I complain about it? Because you know what? If I'm a buyer in a show and I can get something for $1, I sure as heck am going for it. Like if it's something I want. So I can't like be mad at somebody about that. But I lost my train of thought. Packing material. So we talked about dollar starts. Absolutely. I don't think you should do them without research, don't be a brand new seller coming in doing dollar starts. I think you will lose a little bit at the beginning. I mean, maybe you could start your business that way. Heck, if that's your business model, I personally feel that the dollar starts work better for the high volume sellers because you're able to sell more in an hour, therefore generating more revenue, and you're looking at those averages. It's over like the total amount. I feel that the higher volume sellers do better with dollar starts than more of the niche sellers, and I'm more of a niche seller. I want to do dollars though. Now, what makes that my theory there completely wrong is Lancaster Exchange. Lancaster Exchange is 100% a niche seller. She sells vintage decor. It's not a high volume seller, and she does dollar starts and is highly successful. So maybe my theory isn't all that it is. You know, I average a cost of the inventory, not per piece. Yep. So averaging, you need. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up on your comments. Dollar starts create loyal buyers. I've returned to sellers because of their price start. There you go. See, I would do it. If I could, I would do dollar starts, and I do throw them in every now and then. I mean, if you're in my shows, you'll see, and especially at the end of my shows, I don't know, I want to say famous, but it's very likely that at the end of my show, if I only have 4 or 5 items left and I want to clear them off, they're going to go for a cheap price, or I'm going to throw them all together and say, okay, here you go, 4 items for $1. Let's do it. So usually when I get down to those last couple of items, the prices start to get really low just because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to deal with these items again. So that's that. Let's just talk about controlling your show. So I had a couple things I want to talk about. So controlling your show is one of them. And then my big thing. So the big thing that I harp on, kind of like everybody has their thing, is the buying experience and removing barriers for your buyers. So one is creating a good buying experience. So from the buyer's perspective, what does that experience feel like to them? And then from the seller's perspective is removing barriers to that experience. Oh, thank you, Beth Kept Secret. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
How do we create a good buying experience? By removing the barriers to buying. And I look at that in 3 parts. We have our pre-show, our show, and our post-show. Today I wanted to talk about the pre-show aspects. But before we get into that, how about taking requests? Yeah, Mary, you do that too, last few items. How about in the chat, if you take requests, if you are one of the sellers here who are like, yep, you could request stuff anytime when you're selling in your shows, throw a yes in the chat, or a thumbs up or something. So there's 2 sides of thought on here. So we have a couple here, yes. Two trains of thought that you request derail your show, and that you really shouldn't take requests because they'll kind of, you need to be in control of your show. Yes, after you run 20 items. I like that. Williams Rustic Salvage, you are just hitting on exactly where I'm going with this. Our jewelry appraisers on the app that offer evaluation services thought it would be a good idea. Trem Gods, I do not know the answer to your question, but we have a very intelligent chat. So if anybody is in the room that knows the answer to that question, would you please help Trem Gods out and give them an answer? So I like to take requests. Again, the way I operate my show is I try to remove all the barriers to buying. To me, that is taking request removes a barrier. If somebody wants to buy something, if they want to see something, I am going to show it to them. Now, does that mean that as I'm going through my process, I need to stop every 10 seconds and do exactly what they want? No, it does not. I love that idea that Williams Rustic Salvage had of saying, okay, hey, yeah, I'm going to do your request. I'm going to do these first 20 items, and then we're going to go into request mode. And that's one of the things I had actually wrote on my thing, make a specific time for request. So you can still remove that barrier by making a time to have a request time. Or you can say, the way I do it is, okay, I'm going to run this item, then I will take the request. I always, start my shows. I'm usually like, I prioritize pre-bids and requests, but I also load 1 show a week, sometimes 2, I load. So I do encourage those pre-bids. So I'm really thinking more of when you're taking requests, doing it in a way that works for you. You still have to have control of your show. So, my husband had a few different ideas. We were sitting here talking about, well, how can we do requests that still puts us in control? And so I do like that, making a specific time for it. You could say, hey, once I get through the end of running all the items in the auction tab, then I will go to specific request. That way it gives you the chance to sell all of the items in your tab. This only works if you pre-list all the items in your tab, and then go back and hit on the ones that people are specifically looking at. If you guys have other ideas, throw them in there. I mean, this is what this is for, is to share with each other and to learn. Victorian Gold or something like that is her name. Oh, okay. Thank you. Is that Smiley for answering that question? We are near a lot of buyers in here, so I get a lot of requests and I'll run it right away. So the downside of this, I mean, there's two sides of this. One, to me, removing the barrier is, if somebody wants to buy something, I'm going to make it as easy as possible for them to buy it, right? Yep, right there. Chances are it's the only thing they're looking for and I want to sell it. Absolutely, I'm here to sell. So what's an example of item you agreed to sell as a request? So stay at home to shop. I will do any item that I have in my bin or in the auction tab. If somebody says, hey, can I see item 842? I'm like, yeah, sure, let me finish running this and I'll grab that item. Anything. I do request on anything in my bin or my auction tab. There you go. I run categories and offer to do request between what a great way to break up the show. So maybe you're doing like vintage jewelry, and I'm just guessing, I'm just throwing examples out. Maybe you're doing vintage jewelry and you say, hey, before we switch over to vintage decor, I'm going to do some requests. So get your request in, get your ideas ready, whatever. So it's still keeping control of that, but doing it in a way that works for you. And I don't have all the answers on how that works for you because your show's unique to you. But just think about that. I am really big, and we're going to talk about this, removing barriers to buying. My job, I'm here to sell. I'm here to make money. I only make money if I sell you something. So my job is to make it as easy for you to buy. For example, let me just give you a little example. I take a lot of what I learn from personal experience when I'm shopping. So that means I'm taking a lot of brick and mortar ideas, and how do I twist those ideas or just modify them to fit my whatnot business, right? I took my daughter, my adult daughter, for her birthday to get pedicures. We go to the pedicure place. We do use the rewards tier to do special services, stay home to shop. I love the rewards tiers. I think they're great. We'll talk about coupons in a second, because that's all it is really, is coupons. We went to get pedicures. There was no parking. I drive a big old Ford F-150. This was downtown in a city close to me, York, Pennsylvania, no parking. There was no parking lot. I drove around and around for 20 minutes looking for a place to park, and I had to park 4 blocks away. One, that's a barrier. If your store doesn't have a place for me to park. I get in there and they don't take debit cards, they only take cash. That's another barrier. All right, so those don't apply to whatnot. But how could they apply? One, making it easy to come to my show. By them having no parking, it made it hard for me to go to their shop. So I take that and I twist it to whatnot. How do I make it easy for people to come to my show? And we're going to talk about that in a second on the pre-show stuff. They only took cash. How do I take that and apply that to whatnot? Obviously, we don't take cash. We have to take whatever payment method you put in, but I don't turn on verified buyers. I don't make you go through an extra step in order to buy from me. So things like that. And this is kind of how my theories and thoughts have come from, is just looking at the real world and applying that to your whatnot business. And I encourage all of you to do that too. When you're out shopping, what bugs the heck out of you? And then how do you think your buyers feel? How does that apply to your whatnot business? If someone requests an item and wants to buy it, why would we not want to sell it? Exactly. However, the Vintage Daisy Shop, I do want to point out there is two sides to this, because I do totally see the other side. If you run your show and you're like a volume seller, or you have a specific way of running your show, you're the one who's running your show. Your buyers aren't running your show. You still need to be the one in control. So if I'm going through item by item and I have a system, requests coming in could very well derail that. It could be, one request comes in, you're like, okay, hold on, let me go find it, I'll get it, okay. And then another request, oh, let me go find that item. How many people are going to stick around for that, right? They could be very distracting to other buyers to constantly be running. You're also losing time. If you are a seller, and this goes back to what your selling style is. If you're a seller and you were running a lot of product through, you're like a volume seller, and part of your metrics are like items ran per hour or sold per hour, you don't want to keep stopping to go and grab stuff, right? So in that sense, if that's your style, taking requests may not work like the whole time. Then you have to think of a different way. Maybe it's, okay, we're going to do it at a certain time. We're going to do it at a certain spot, whatever it may be. Do you prefer a niche or sticking to a broad category like target palette where your outreach potential is bigger? I think it depends on your business model, whatever works for you. One, it's what sources do you have available to source from? So what can you get? There's certain things where I'm at, I just can't get. It doesn't make sense for me. I'll never be able to sell it. But then two, what category are you in? If you're in estate sales storage units, they have everything. You could find sports cards to vintage decor to some clothing items to some sporting equipment. They're a mix of everything and they're highly successful. So I don't think there's a right or a wrong way. I think it depends on what your business model is. For me, even though I'm a niche vintage decor, I have 5 shows I run through on a rotating cycle. Every Saturday, I do a curated show. I do blue and white, farmhouse decor, French country decor, primitive decor, and cottage core, like granny core, cottage core. I have those 5 even more niche within the vintage decor category, like those 5 decor aesthetics that I run through on a rotating cycle every Saturday. So to me, it's almost the same thing. Even though I'm niche, I still have this broad reach to different audiences. The people who come to my blue and white show may not be the exact same people who come to a primitive show. Let's see, what am I missing? I agree, any reasonable requests from Diamond tier members. Very few ever make requests during shows. So there you go. So Stay Home to Shop does it when they do special shows. And that's a great way. If you want to just have a show that is like, okay, this is for my top tier people, you can set up private shows for just your top tier. Diamond tier buyers spend 20 times more than bronze buyer in my stats, but don't often have special requests. Is that strange? I don't think it's strange. I think they know what they want. I think they're not, they're going to come in and they're going to buy it. They're going to wait. I don't know. I don't find that weird. So I'm not going to harp on requests. I want, a lot of things I bring up is for you to think about it. Think about request, how it works in your business. Does it make sense for you? How to apply it? Almost everything I'm going to say is going to be on the basis of removing barriers to buying and creating a good buying experience. That's how my mind works. I love doing theme shows and do well with them. I do very well with my theme shows. Now, this is also, think about this, and we're going to talk about, let's talk about pre-show. Let's go into this and talk about, I have all kinds of notes. So removing barriers and creating a buying experience, I think happens in 3 phases: pre-show, show, and post-show. Pre-show probably has the most into it than the other 2. Because pre-show starts with the planning. Pre-show is everything. The other 2 are executing. But your planning stage is probably the most vital stage because that's going to set the tone for everything that follows it, right? So there's 5 points in your pre-show kind of thing to think about. Your name. We've talked about the name, right? We've talked about why I just changed my logo. We've talked about using names that aren't copycat of somebody else. Don't build off of somebody else's success. Make your own name. But when you think about your name, and it's okay to change your name. If you come on as a buyer and you're like Bob82654, that's okay. But then if you want to go to selling, I would consider thinking about your name. Your name is your brand. That's how people recognize you. You want it to be easy to say. Some of y'all, you're creative, but some of y'all, I can't read your names to save my life. So think about it. If you are a seller, you want somebody to be able to read your name, right? And to pronounce it. Now, I like the name eclectic. There's a lot of eclectic something or other. Not everybody can say eclectic. That's a hard word to say. I'm surprised I can because I slaughter a lot of words. So think about your name, and also, think about your logo. Goes with it, the name, the logo, your brand. Who are you? How are you representing yourself? Just in those 2 simple things to the world, to the whatnot world. So think about it. That's the first thing in your pre-show is your name. The second is your thumbnail. Yes, happy 4th of July, everybody. The second is your thumbnail. Always have whatever that name or logo is in your thumbnail somewhere. It's vital. We want recognition. It takes somebody multiple times of seeing your name and your logo to start to associate it with you, to recognize that as you. I talked about it in my last show. I say it almost every show. Think about Nike, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Fruit Loops, whatever it may be. You know Tony the Tiger. You know these things, right? Because you've probably seen them since you were a little kid, over and over and over again. Branding is important. Yes, Southern Charm, 100%. So you want that brand on your thumbnail somewhere. If it is not your full thumbnail, it could be your full thumbnail, or it could be, your thumbnail could be anything with your brand on there somewhere. You want that repetition, all right? The other thing with thumbnails, they should represent your show in some way. If it is not purely your logo, and I am all for just using logos as thumbnails, 100%, because they're big, they're the full thumbnail, you can see it. I'm going to start another giveaway too while we're yabbering away here. We're going to do 3 vintage photos. So this one is for 3 black and white old time photos. No, 4. Look at that. You get 4. All right, because that's what's in my envelope. That's the giveaway going right now. Is shipping prices a significant barrier? No, it is not. Shipping price is the best on Whatnot than it is on any other app. Now, I think, excuse me, let me take a drink. We'll get right back to thumbnails. I'm going to answer this question. I think shipping price is a barrier only if everybody else in your category is doing something and you're not, or the majority. If the majority of your category that you're selling in is offering reduced shipping and you're not, what are your buyers going to think? Your buyer has choice A, reduced shipping, choice B, and I'm assuming the products are very similar. Full price shipping. As a buyer, what would you pick? Ms. Vivian, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I think shipping price is a barrier only on the fact if you're offering free or reduced shipping from the buyer's perspective in comparison to other people. I offer free shipping and I've seen an increase in my buyers. So they kind of think about it like that. You should be researching what other people in your category are doing. You should be watching them for a couple of reasons. Not to copycat, but to see what works and what doesn't. I mean, that's just general human behavior. What works, what doesn't. Listening to what people say, like, oh man, I can't stand it when people are chewing with a mouthful of food or eating their breakfast on Whatnot. Okay, if you hear that a lot, maybe there's something to it. Maybe I shouldn't be eating my breakfast on Whatnot, right? So those are, I'm not saying to do it to copy people, but it's to learn, to see what's working and what's not, and how to apply different aspects into your business or how to modify things to make them fit for you. So getting back to thumbnails, I'm a big proponent for having the full thumbnail, your logo. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to do your full logo on your thumbnail, make your thumbnail somewhat representative of your show in some way, shape, or form. If you're doing a clearance show, maybe putting the words clearance show. Canva is a great app. You can create just about anything in Canva. And if you feel that you're not a creative person, sometimes I don't feel like I have that creative energy in me, Canva has AI. I don't know if it's with the free version. I have the paid version. It's like $14, $15 a month. It's not that pricey, but they have AI. You could type into AI, and I used it for some of my thumbnails. You can go check them out. Hey, I need a background showing a French country decor theme. Nice and easy. Then they give you 4 options. You don't like it, you say generate again, and you get another 4 options until you find something you like, right? Make it something representative. Now, if you like to do pictures of yourself, you're a selfie thumbnail person, you do you. I don't see the value in that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not trying to get on people. I just don't see the value in it. I know people will say, I'm trying to sell myself. You're selling a product. I mean, you're part of it. It's my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. I think thumbnails should be representative. I use my logo for my thumbnail until I have my setup or theme complete and change and add a video. See, there you go. Southern Charm, perfect. And using the thumbnail is a perfect placeholder. Also, If you do nothing, if you put no picture, Whatnot will default to your little, I don't know what it's called, our little circle pictures. It'll default to that, whatever you have for your circle picture. It's a thumbnail for your circle picture. You know, you guys know what I'm saying. The picture next to your name. Whatnot, I don't know all the technical terms. Whatnot will default to that if you don't do anything. Now, Southern Charm brought up another thing, videos, which was next on my list. Oh, wow, that's loud. Sorry about that. Time to wake up the child. If you can put a video, they are awesome. They are eye-catching. Everybody just don't leave my show, but when we're done, scroll through the thumbnails in any category. How many people have videos? Not that many. Do they catch your attention when you're scrolling through? Probably, because it's movement. It's something that draws your eye in. Put a video up if you can. They're not hard to create. You can create videos in Canva. They're not that hard. You could just create a basic video on your phone. Take your product, look, I'm gonna do a video of my product. Now I have a video. They're not hard. They're eye-catching. You can put a thumbnail and a video together, both on one show. So what's gonna happen when people scroll, that thumbnail first appears, but within a second or two, that video will start to play and catch their attention. Melissa, you are getting four old black and white photos, some ephemera for you. Congratulations. Thank you for coming to the show. Let's see so Southern Charm, okay, is answering that. How far in advance do you set up a show? I usually do mine about 2 months in advance. Have shows set up. People can't bookmark if you don't have them. I'm a planner. I said at the beginning of the show, I'm a planner. I do things consistently. Usually when I'll do a show, because I have, like, my shows are on set days, and I go to do a show, I'll do 10. You can do reoccurring shows, and you can do up to 10 at a time. That's usually how I do it, unless I'm doing like a one-off. I'm doing Butter Pats today at 11. That's a one-off show. I didn't do the repeating feature on that. I do one every show, and I was told it helps with the live tile during the show. Absolutely. Let's see. I like videos. They also play while people are waiting. Exactly. If they go into your room, that video is playing. That video is a great way to show off your product. The only thing I caution is make sure you are, like Southern Charm says, she updates it as she gets her stuff set up. Make sure if you're advertising something special, if you have a gorgeous ironstone picture in your video that draws me into your room, please make sure that you're selling that picture. There's nothing worse. There's nothing more than it's going to like irritate a buyer to be like, oh no, that was just in my video. I'm not really selling it. Using slideshows are also good. Same theory. That's it. It's the eye catches the movement, and that's what you want. You want people to draw to your thumbnail, right? Now I have regulars who watch a video. There you go. There. Hickville Junk Rescue. You've trained your buyers, and I don't say that in a bad way. I know that sounds like, you trained. But they have come to expect that they can look at your videos and be like, oh, they have this, this, and this. Yep. Okay, I'm going to go in the room. Where is this stuff? Can I have it? Here's the other thing. You can use that to your advantage to help people stay in your shows longer. This is one of the biggest questions people ask on Whatnot. How do I retain viewers? Here's one way to retain viewers. Do a video with some really banger items, and as the people come in, keep repeating every now and then. Hey, this banger item, whatever it is, I'm going to run it at 8 o'clock. Or maybe not even give them a time so they don't leave and come back. I'm going to run it sometime in the show, maybe in the next 30 minutes or so. Do what you say. Stick to your word. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to run that in about 30, 45 minutes, odds are those people are going to hang out for those 30, 45 minutes because they don't want to miss it, right? And you load about 2 hours. I had a wrap done. Oh, that's cool, Miss Vivian. I'm going to have to go check that out now. So think about your thumbnails. Really think about them. This is your brand. Again, this is what people are going to recognize. Try to use consistent thumbnails. In the sense of if you're just doing your logo and then you're putting you're doing a picture right before the show that's different to show your items. When I say consistent, I mean like something where your buyers learn to expect a certain pattern, because they know what to look for. When somebody sees, I've just changed all of mine because I just changed my logo, my branding, all of mine have just changed. I will not use any other logos. It's going to be months and months and months. But you know what's going to happen? That primitive logo, people are going to see it. They'll be, oh yeah, that's Zoe's Treasures. They're going to get used to seeing it. I can't see a rap video on your next two shows. Okay, we all got to go check out Miss Vivian's rap photo, our rap video. I'm very curious now. Tell us what show it is. We're gonna watch your video. Hold on though, we'll pull it up, Miss Vivian. Okay, look at Zumba on 7.5. Y'all, let's go check this out. I want to see this. We're gonna look at it together. Just give us a second. My husband has a minute to pull it up. Tell you what, I'm going to keep talking till he tells me he's ready. The next thing about pre-show that you need to think about, at Zumba on 7.5 is what you want to find. Your scheduling of your show. When are you scheduling shows? And tie this back to barriers to buying, right? When my show today, I started at 7 a.m., I created a barrier to my California friends, right? Because it's 4 o'clock in the morning. How many people in California do you think are on right now? Probably not a whole lot unless they, are super early risers, or, just maybe night shift workers, whatever. But generally, I've created a barrier by scheduling a show at 7 a.m. So think about that when you're creating your shows. And I'm not saying don't do morning shows. The way I've overcome it, I do a morning show, but I also do an evening show. My big show, my big Saturday show, I do at a time that's convenient for both coasts. So think about that when you're scheduling your shows, what kind of barriers you may create when you're scheduling your show. Be consistent with your shows. It may take some trial and error at the very beginning to figure out what days and times work for you. And it's okay to play around with it. But don't just do, oh, I'm going to do Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then maybe it's not a great show and you're like, oh, that time sucks. I'm never going to do it again. Give it a try a little bit. There is no way to get enough data to make a decision by trying something once. You have to try it a couple of times. If it doesn't work, then change it. Try something else. Are you ready? All right, let's watch Miss Vivian's rap. We're all curious here. We want to check this out. It's coming.
That's Miss Vivian. That's on Whatnot, not pretend. She got the looks for all of your friends. That's that Whatnot community. Showing love from the beginning to end. Showing love on Tuesdays with yoga. It's fresh. You know she hitting that mats and she sounding loves the best. Yeah, she got the Christian Dior and you know she rocking it well. Go and tag your friends cause she about to run up Chanel. That's that Miss Vivian. Yes, you know she get it in. She about to tell y'all what she on and you know she gon' get it against. That's Miss Vivian. That's on Whatnot, not pretend.
That is so cool. Okay, so I saw him. That very creative. My husband's over here going, it's freaking awesome. Now he has headphones and he can hear it. I can't hear it. So I have to personally, I'm going to go back and listen later because whatever you guys hear, I'm not hearing just because of the way we have our setup. But I'm looking at the chat. Everybody is, that's it. Wrapping junk jars. Okay, Choco Dog, now I really have to go listen to this. I just saw it on the screen. So how creative. And you guys, are you going to remember that now? So if you see that once, are you going to remember that's something that sticks with you? So think about how do you take, not copying the rap, but how do you take that concept and apply it to your shows, right? Oh, look at Miss Vivian is even sharing who does it and how much. All right. There's an idea. So we talked about scheduling of your shows, trying to find a time that works. But what's more important about anything is being consistent because your buyers start to expect it. Southern Charms, a frequent person in my shows, I had missed a Monday because I was working out of town. And we were talking later in the week about something. And she's like, oh, I thought I missed your show. I didn't see you on Monday. It's because she's come to expect that we have a show every Monday morning, right? So those are the type of things. Think about the people that you see that are successful. Lancaster Exchange, usually what is her Sunday mornings. Hodge does Thursday therapy. Is it Thursday therapies? So there's some of these they get ingrained in your head. Yeah, so she thought she missed it. Okay, selling style. This is selling style and planning. These two go hand in hand. These are my last two points. hold on real quick. Stay home to shop. Fantastic. The wrapper might confuse some without your image shown. I've got to see it. I only saw it. I couldn't hear. So I got to go back and check it out. All right. So the last 2 points on your pre-show is your selling style and your plan. I cannot stress enough how important selling style and the plan is. And you know what? I had a couple other things on thumbnail. We're going to come back to thumbnail too, because I got a couple other things to talk about. Your selling style and your planning. Before you even do a show, you should have everything planned out. And I'm not talking about taking a pen and paper and writing this out and having this big old business plan. I'm not talking about something hard and complicated. Granted, I'm a list maker. I do write stuff, but that's not what my point is. My point is, how are you going to sell this? Are you going to go very fast? Are you more niche? Are you going to be the one who explains everything? How long are you going to run your auction for? Are you going to use sudden death? Are you not going to use sudden death? Are you a list maker too? See, this is where we get along. We have so much in common. All of the things that go into your selling, you should know before you start a show. 100%. Don't do it on the fly. Don't wing it. I know some people jump in and they're going to say, I'm going to learn as I go. Your buyers see that. Most of the time, people are very nice on whatnot, and they'll help you through it. But honestly, let's just be brutally honest here. All of us have been in a show with a first-time seller who is like, all right, next up is this coffee mug. Look at this, has a really beautiful tea on it. I'm going to run this for 20 seconds, boom, 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 and it's going. Maybe they're like, oh, wait, I'm sorry, I did it for 30, but okay, now we're up and running. We've been in those shows with sellers like that. And we've been in shows with first-time sellers who are like, all right, I'm going to run this pen. How do I put an item in? Could somebody tell me how to put this in? How do I run this? Oh, wait, what do I click on? What do I do? You can tell when somebody has taken some time to prepare, right? And that's what I'm saying. We're all going to fumble. Heck, I was fumbling figuring out how to take the pole off earlier. We're all going to learn a little bit on the fly. You're out. Ramona says she's out. When you have a first-time seller who you could tell didn't even practice not once, you can tell, and it's painful. It's painful. Yeah, I did Little Market. I did not know you could take the poles off until I couldn't see my chat, and then my husband guided me through it. It is very painful to watch. Oh my gosh, how Tuesday was a hot mess in the beginning. You know what, but we all learn. Like Choco Dog, you've had Southern Charm to kind of help you and guide you and teach you through some of this. What I'm saying is if you are a first-time seller, or maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you've been at it for a couple of months and you're like, you know what, I can improve things. Think all the way through your show. I am huge on visualization, particularly in spurts. I've used it a lot when I have run half marathons and marathons, where I'll literally close my eyes and I picture myself crossing that finish line. Do the same thing for Whatnot. Take a minute, think through that show. In your head, just take a minute to yourself, grab your coffee, grab your tea, sit somewhere nice, and think through that whole show. How are you going to sell? Where do you get your items from? Are you going to pre-list? Are you going to do random? If you do random, how are you going to keep your items organized? Do you have a loaded bin? Do you not have a loaded bin? If you're going to do a loaded bin, when are you going to put those items in the bin? Because I'll tell you what, you can't wait till an hour before the show and think you're going to load 100 items. It's probably not going to happen. It's time consuming. It takes time. So practice run. Cynthia, yes, do a practice run. So are you going to move fast? Are you going to move slow? All of these things you need to think about in the planning stage. So vital. Because what are you doing for all of these? You're either creating or you're removing a barrier to your buyer by what you're doing. That seller who is pretty much on top of it, that first-time seller who was like, yep, okay, let's click this, boom, 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 we're good, maybe has some stumbles. They did all they could to remove barriers. The seller who's like, how do I put, okay, it's a pen, how do I put this in? All they're doing is making people leave. They're just building walls to their selling. And that's not what we want to do. Good morning, I love discounts. Southern Charm, practice makes perfect. Ramona, I always have one of my mods look at my show before I go on. Fresh eyes are great. perfect point. They really are. Fresh eyes are amazing. The other thing, are you going to add items on the fly? Do you know how to do that? Pre-planning. I'm going to say it to you guys who are so sick of you. You're going to be like, Tracy, quit saying pre-planning. I don't like adding items on the fly. I try not to add items on the fly as much as I can because I know I'm slow. I know I'm going to fumble. I don't like to do it. But speaking of items, we are going to do another giveaway here. This one is for another little ephemera pack and a My Vibe is Vintage sticker. So it's in here somewhere. It probably fell down. Here it is. So you're going to get some ephemera and a sticker. That is up and going right now. So adding items on the fly, what's a good solution to that? So as you're thinking through this and you're like, oh, I don't want to add an item on the fly, but what if my show is going great? Because what if you have 2 pieces of milk glass? And let me tell you, this happens all the time. Maybe I have 2 pieces of milk glass and they just got bid up and they exceeded my expectations. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, milk glass is hot. I have milk glass buyers in my room right now. And I know back in my inventory, I have 4 more pieces of milk glass that they would like, but I don't have them loaded. What are my choices? I could forget about them and then not sell them, but I have people in the room who obviously love milk glass, right? I have an opportunity to sell. I could add an item on the fly. Lost and found. The topic is removing barriers to buying, and we are talking about there are 3 things to removing barriers to buying and creating a good buying experience. You have pre-show, during the show, and post-show. We are just focused on pre-show, and we're talking about planning and different things that can come up in planning and thinking through that, thinking through all the various scenarios and being prepared. Because if not, it's going to catch you off guard. So one of my examples is I have buyers in the room who like milk glass. 9 Dime says, have a universal listing and you have hit the nail on the head. That's my option right there. I have a random listing at almost every single one of my shows. You will see a random listing in my selling shows. I don't have one today. You will see a random listing 4 times like that. When I have something that I see is selling, it's hot right now, and I have more in my back room, you better know that I'm going to be like, while this item is running, give me a minute, and I'm going to go pull out more of that item because I know I have those buyers in the room, right? And so my husband says, I Love Discounts did this last night in their show. They saw something was selling. They're like, oh, okay, here we go. Here's some more of them. Do a random poll. It's faster if you already have them set up. Exactly. There you go. So you just have a random item there. So think through that though. If you don't plan from the beginning, and this doesn't apply just to brand new sellers. Maybe you're an existing seller and you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Here's a way to accommodate those situations, right? Always have weights added to your show for last minute items. That way you don't need to make it a whole post. See, it's those random items. There you go. Yep. And that's the other thing. I mean, how are you going to handle? We talked about request earlier. How are you going to handle request? There are so many things that go into a show. The best time to think about that is before the show, is to plan for these. So always have pricing strategy. What's your pricing strategy going to be? How are you going to handle requests? Why don't you do dollar starts? I love discounts, dollar starts. Here's the thing about dollar starts, y'all. Exactly, 9 dimes, dollar starts. I love the mental load that it relieves me to do a dollar start. When I do a dollar start, I don't have to think about, well, what's the market for this? What are other people selling for? What will my buyers pay for this? How much did I pay for? I hate that. That's my worst thing right now that I'm going through not doing dollar starts is pricing. I hate pricing. I hate pricing worse than anything. I would rather pack all day long than have to price my items. I'm not at my dollar starts yet. So, but how do we fix this, right? I'm new and I can't do dollar starts, building my community. Okay, that's great. So how do we fix this problem of pricing? Because it is taxing. At the end of the day of trying to list things, my brain is like, I don't want to do anymore, right? Do you have a pricing strategy where, okay, I'm going to start everything at double what I paid? Or am I going to start everything at $5 if I'm not doing dollars? Am I going to start everything at 10? Am I going to start this class of items at 3, this class at 20, whatever it is? So maybe coming up thinking, again, pre-planning of some strategy to help relieve some of that mental stress instead of doing, you know, every single item, I got to think about this. Now this, to me, applies a little bit more to if you're pre-listing, because you have to, you're kind of putting those prices out there and you can't really increase them after the fact. You can always decrease, but if you pre-list something and then raise the price, buyers aren't going to be happy. Kitty Cat, you are getting a My Vibe is Vintage sticker and some other ephemera. Congratulations. Thank you for coming into the chat today. And hello, Awesome Finds. You know, dollars, I love dollar starts for that mental energy. But think about your pricing strategy ahead of time. And I'm going to speak from experience. When I do my random polls, I was doing for a long time, I did the dollar starts for 2 months, and then I was doing on Mondays $1 to $5. I would use stickers so I would know ahead of time. Am I starting at $1, $2, $3, $4, or $5? I kind of got away from the stickers mainly because I found them difficult to peel off, and I would forget to peel them off. I organize stuff now like mentally on shelves. Okay, I know this shelf is going to be this much money. Have a plan. That's all I'm saying is have a plan for your pricing. It'll make it easier in the long run. It also avoids that last minute where there's pressure. You want to make your buyers happy, right? You want to do something good. All of us have this pressure. We want to make that sale, right? So you're going to pick something up and you're going to be like, in your head, you're like, oh, this is $10. But you're like, you know what? I'm going to do it for $6. I'm not saying it's wrong to give a discount, but I know for me, I found a lot of times that I was undercutting the price out of this because I didn't plan, because I didn't have a plan to stick to it. I was undercutting the price because I wanted to sell it. I wanted to make people happy, you know. So knowing what you're doing and sticking to your plan going in also helps you as a seller on the back end in what you're realizing for your products. The random pricing always gives me stress. See, still use stickers. And you can talk to a lot of experienced sellers, and they're going to say the same thing. That you have to have some pricing method. I love that you tell what your giveaway is. I dozed off briefly last night and won something in a show at that moment. Not a clue what it was. Mary, actually, interesting that you bring this up. We were talking about this in another chat show. It is actually Whatnot rules, in case y'all did not know this, to disclose the giveaway. You have to say what it is. You're supposed to show it too, but so you're supposed to show and at least say what your giveaway is, and that holds the sellers accountable. So that is in the Whatnot rules. I know there's still a lot of people, and I've done it before too. Hey, I'm running a giveaway, go jump in. Because you know what it is. It's in your head. You're not trying to be deceitful or like, and I've done that, like, especially if I'm just doing $5 gift cards and I've already done 2 or 3 of them, and I'll forget to say it. But Whatnot actually tells us that we need to disclose the giveaway. All right, so let's talk about, when I'm talking about planning, let's compare this to a vacation. All right, so you're packing, you're getting ready, you get to the airport, you go have fun, and then you come home, right? If you don't plan for that whole thing, maybe you took an Uber to the airport, you go and have fun and you spend all your money and you're not planning how you're getting home. You're going to be stuck at the airport, right? You're not getting home. You're going to be calling mom and be like, Mom, come and get me. I know I'm 35 years old, but I didn't save enough money to take my Uber home, right? So it's no different than a show. You need to plan what you're going to do. Plan for the fun part, the show. Plan what you're going to do after the show. It's just like everything else in life. I talked a lot about visualizing things. Is there a way to set up a giveaway inventory item so you can add to different shows without doing temporary listings in every show? Cynthia, I do not think so, but if anybody else in here knows a way to do this, please put it in the chat. This is not just like Tracy Talk Show. I encourage anybody in the chat, if you have an answer, to put it in there. I do not think you can. I think you can only do the temporary listings, because when you go to do a quality listing, I don't think giveaway is one of the options. Thank you, Boho girl. So let's see. Know how your show is going to run. What's your elevator pitch? What are you going to do when somebody raids you? I didn't do this at the very beginning. I didn't know what to do at the very beginning. I was like, oh my God, I got a raid. I got a raid. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You raided me. Thank you. Okay. I just lost those 6 seconds I had to grab those raiders' attention. That's gone. What's your elevator pitch? Have that ready so that you're prepared. Practice it. Oh, I love discounts. Tony and I were just talking about this. We do not have an elevator pitch. And it doesn't have to be something elaborate. Hi, welcome to Zoe's Treasures. Thank you for reading. My name is Tracy. We are a husband and wife team. My husband Noel is running our cameras. We are going to run the next item at $1 to thank blah, 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 blah for the raid. Something simple. I sell vintage decor. Today we are selling black and white. Today we're doing a chat show. Practice it. Have something very simple. Who you are, what you're doing, and what are you going to do to reward them, like to catch them. I always recommend dollar starts, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I stole it from Greed 13. I took his advice. I think a dollar start when somebody raids you is better than a giveaway, but you don't have to follow that. You do what works for you. But have that practice that quick little elevator spiel there, and you really have like 6 seconds to get them. Who, what, and where. There you go, Ms. Vivian. Who, what, and where. Exactly. I'm going to let's do a Starbucks gift card this time. Here we go, $5 Starbucks gift card. We're going to throw this in as a giveaway. That is up and going. I have a regular givey and a raid givey in every show. You're prepared. Perfect, Ramona. See, this is it. Have something there and ready. So whatever you plan on doing, and you can mix it up, as long as you know what you're doing, have something ready. I do dollar start. So whatever my next item is, because I just want it to be easy, whatever I'm doing next, no matter what it is, if I'm rated, is going to be at $1. But maybe you're like, oh, I don't know what's coming up next. It may be my banger item. I don't want to risk it. Have something set to the side. Have a listing in there that's raid item or whatever. And as soon as that raid comes in, we're gonna run this raid item I got. Check out this cool thing. We're gonna run it for $1 for you today, right? That's my hubby. Look at that. That's my hubby. Sorry, I get sidetracked when I see him. So be prepared. Plan it. Plan what you're going to sell, or to have for your raid item or a givey item, whatever it is. What is your opening and closing? How do you start a show? I have seen sellers literally, I have seen sellers do this, and I'm sorry if you do this. Okay, the show just started. That's what they do. They're over there setting up their show, or they're going, fixing their camera. Be ready. I mean, there may be a little bit of an adjustment going on to that camera. I have to do that when I'm running on my phone, but be ready. And what are you going to say? Just be like Tony. But you know what? That's cool. I love discounts. People come to expect it. People come in at the beginning of your show because they want to talk to Tony. Like this is what I'm saying. Just have what you're going to do. My standard, and you guys get sick of hearing it, I'm sure. Don't actually do that. You know, I start every show. Hi, welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name is Tracy. I'm here with my husband, Noel. He's behind the scenes running our cameras and doing our graphics. Today, we are going to do whatever our show is about that day. That's my standard opening. What do you recommend when no one is in your show at the beginning? Pretend that there is. Sam, pretend that there's 100 people there all the time. It's a full room, even if nobody's there. And then if you see that nobody's there, but maybe a couple people come in, you can repeat it again when they come in. Hi, I'm Tracy. We're doing a chat show today. How are you doing? Thank you for coming into my show. Yes, Cynthia, perfect point. Just remember that you are visible on thumbnails all the time. I watch shows on thumbnails a lot. There's times when I'm laying in bed, I'm tired, and I just want to veg out and I don't want to interact. I watch on the thumbnail instead. And I'm going to admit it, there's some sellers I just creep on. I don't want to go in the room. There's a few sellers that maybe aren't my favorites, but I want to hear what's going on. I'm still nosy. I'm still have some FOMO. So I just creep on thumbnails. It happens, and other people do it too. Yep, look at a lot of people are saying serial lobby watcher right there, natural state of high. Yep. So yeah, getting that giveaway for some coffee. So have your opening and have a closing. How do you close your show? I'm still kind of working on mine. I like to give another creeper. So I like to give, hey, we're, last call, we're getting down to the end. I'm going to run a few more items and we're going to be raiding. And then at the end, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to go raid such and such, or hey, help me find somebody to raid. I'm still kind of working on my closing. I don't feel the closing is as vital as your opening, but you should have something. I was literally in a room with a seller where she's like, selling, like active selling. And then it was like, okay, bye. And I'm like, whoa, what just happened? So figure out what is your closing. It just makes it easier. Takes out that guesswork on what am I going to do. And I know that was something I struggled with at the very beginning. Know how to raid. Here's the other thing, know how to raid. It's proper etiquette on what not to raid somebody. I don't see that this being an issue a lot of times, but I do see a lot of newer sellers just be like, end the show. And I did it when I first started. I just ended. I didn't know how to raid. I shouldn't have started when I started. I should have, but I should have done more practice. This all comes literally, you know what, we don't get like thoughts come because I failed at something or I've observed something. That's where my thoughts come from. It's not because I have any special knowledge here. How come thumbnails play and some don't? How come some play and some don't? Thumbnail. I think it's just if you hold your thumb on it, hence a thumbnail, you can make it play. Let's see who's going to get this coffee really quick. Sam, you're getting some coffee. Congratulations. Thank you for being here today. Raid, yes, get your name out there for raids. But for real quick for thumbnails, it's they all play. But they're, like when you're on a phone, like I use an iPhone, I usually see 4 to 6 thumbnails at a time. And it's usually the one at the top and then the next one will play. So it's just a matter, if you want to see a specific one, if you just hold your thumb on there, not tap, but hold your thumb, it'll start to play. Oh, there it goes. Thank you, Natural State High. If you press on the thumbnail, it'll preview. You can also, there's a little volume, a little microphone button or sound button that if you don't hear the sound, you can tap on that little button. It's always in the top right, and so you can hear them. But raiding, I Love Discounts made a great point. Raid and get your name out there. And here's the thing. You can raid a big seller, and maybe a big seller gets your name out. You can raid somebody little and maybe get a loyal follower because you just made a new seller's day. There's no right or wrong on which way to go. There's also a let Whatnot pick for you to raid on who you raid. Just be careful. I've gone to random people a lot. Like a lot of times you'll hear me say, I don't know this person. We're going to go make a new friend today. Let's go raid them. That's my way of saying, if they're like totally terrible and they suck, please don't blame me. But you want to be careful on who you're raiding. I heard about some naked guy selling coffee or something. I don't know. I missed it. I Love Discounts. You should have tagged me. Like I wanted the entertainment too. But best show ever. Yeah, y'all hear about tag me. I need to see this stuff. But so be careful. I think maybe in the beginning, like usually I'll try to like on my phone, like start swiping through it close to the end of my show to see who's on. So disappointing. My friends don't tag me. I know. Like, yeah, I just hear about it afterwards. So anyways, opening, closing, rating, clean your cameras, some basics. Clean your camera, your phone, the back of your phone, nothing worse than a blurry picture. Again, you're creating a barrier to buying. If your product is blurry, your buyer is going to be like, "Ooh, I can't even see it. I don't know if I want it." Right? How you organize? Make sure you have a system to organize ahead of time. Think through it. How are you organizing? Look at Cynthia. I make a list of possible raid targets before I start. How perfect is that? You're pre-planning. You're knowing that, hey, these 4 or 5 people that I respect, I know are great sellers, whatever, are going to be on around the time I expect to end. Not cleaning your camera drives me crazy. Honestly, I was enthralled in the train wreck. I miss it. I heard about it afterwards. I'm like, man, I miss all the good stuff on Whatnot. But think through how are you going to organize stuff. Especially for people who, if you have never done a random poll or you're a first-time seller, really spend time planning how you're going to organize. When you do random polls, it's whatever you name it, like it could be random item, and then Whatnot will assign a number every time you sell an item. Every time it sells, it'll be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It doesn't tell you, it'll say Bob Smith, item number 1. But if you have a shelf full of items and you don't know which item was number 1, you're screwed. You're gonna be all messed up. Have a way to label your items in some shape or form if you're gonna do random. Think through it ahead of time. And you know what? It still happens. I've been doing randoms for a while now. The Monday was a perfect example. I got my numbers mixed up because I forgot to do a few. Luckily, we record all our shows. I had to go back and look at my show and watch the whole hour and 5-minute show and make sure every single one of my items are right. But that's a waste of an hour of my time then. That's an hour that I could have spent doing something far more productive, right? My problem is I just like streaming, so I have no time on when I start to finish. Just depends on how the show goes. Yeah, usually I know. Here's the other thing. If you're newer, I mean, even if you're existing seller, have a goal. Like, have a goal to where you kind of know to some degree. And this isn't written in stone. My shows usually go for an hour. My selling shows an hour to hour and a half. Talk shows we're aiming at about 2 hours. But so I know about an hour and a half, I'm going to end my show. Maybe if time isn't your goal, maybe money's your goal. Hey, I'm going to be on here until I sell $50 worth of stuff. Or I'm going to be on here until I sell 5 items. Whatever it is, planning ahead of time. Because I'll tell you what happens. And this is very realistic. And if you're a seller and this has happened to you, please put it in the chat so we can all know that this isn't an isolated thing. Some shows suck. I'm going to put out, some shows just suck. I have had shows where I am trying to sell and trying to sell and trying to sell. And after I show 20 items and maybe I've sold 1 and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm just done. I can't sell anything. And in my head, and I'm not like that on camera. On camera, I'm like, hey, all right, let's do our next item. But in my head, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you sell? You're a failure. You should just end your show. You're no good. That negative mind starts eating and eating and eating. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go raid somebody. But you know what? How do I know if I had not stayed on? If my goal is 5 items, if I had not stayed on, that my perfect buyer would be the next person to walk into my room. I don't know that. So here, let's see. I had to stop early yesterday because my phone was overheating. Sometimes that happens, yeah. Natural state of high agrees. Your negative thoughts can get to you. It's normal, people. It's normal. It happens. And this is a side of Whatnot that a lot of people don't talk about because all we see is the success. We see these sellers come on here who have sold out shows and who are like, their stuff's getting bid up. And we're not seeing the stuff that they're struggling. And it happens. And it's okay. And we work through it. But have a plan on how you're going to deal. This goes back to my planning. How are you going to deal with that? Are you going to say, I'm going to stick on for 5 items, or I'm going to go to an hour no matter what, and if I haven't sold anything at an hour, I can quit? I had to do that at the beginning. I had to be like, it wasn't a time. At the very beginning, I was like, okay, I'm going to go through all of my items that I have listed 2 times, and then I can decide if I'm quitting or not. And that's how I had to hold myself accountable, because I wasn't selling anything at the beginning, and it was painful, very painful. And I would go show everything 2 times, and then after, when I would get close to the end of the second time, then it would be like, okay, now you can decide if you're going to quit or not. But I had to like know that ahead of time, or else I would have quit a lot sooner. I only wish Whatnot would number consecutive regarding weight class. So whether yes, I wish so too. That would be so helpful. I can feel my energy level drop enough to call it over. Yep. Yeah, so Sam, they do, but they get better. Consistency, being in shows like this, talking to people, making friends, all helps. It does get better. I mean, I wish I had like these great words of wisdom. A Reworker's Passion, if you ever watch her shows, she has great words of wisdom. She can say it gets better, but the way she says it, you believe it's going to get better. It does. It really does. My second show, I stayed on for over an hour and had no sales. It happens. It's emotionally and physically exhausting. It is. But if we let that get to us, we can just be defeated before we even start. We don't know when that blessing is coming. We don't know when that next big buyer is going to hit. So having a plan and sticking to it. Our crummy shows. And here's what's sucking for new sellers. Hold on, I'm going to say it in a second. Has anyone seen where Whatnot is counting your giveaway item as number one in an auction? Oh, really? I have not seen that. I love discounts. Has anybody else? If you've seen that, please put it in the chat. I have not seen that, but I don't do a giveaway before usually. I've quit doing a lot of giveaways except for this show. Run 3 hours to hit all time zones. Good idea there. So my show last Sunday was a buzz just because there were so many raid trains on it after. Sometimes that's it. I can do a show on a Friday and have a sold out show, and then do a show on a Sunday and barely make 20 bucks. And I'm like, or I could do a primitive show that usually are my like top sellers on my primitive shows. I have done a primitive show on a Saturday afternoon where there's 40 or 50 other sellers on, and I barely sold 5 items. Come back the next morning at 10 o'clock and have a sold out show with the exact same items. So you don't know. It's not always you. Like it's not, I think what I'm trying to express is don't feel defeated. Sometimes it just is what it is. It's who's on. I'm going to do another giveaway here real quick. What do we have coming up next? Let's see. We have vintage postcards. These are from the early 1900s, like 1927, 1931. We're going to do these ones. Those are up and going right now. So some early vintage gift card. So you just don't know. Sometimes it's, you know what? It's the luck of the draw. I have 41 people in here right now. If I were to start selling, what are the odds? Like if I were going to sell this cup, what are the odds out of 41 people that somebody wants a cup with the letter T on it? Maybe one person, if I'm lucky, maybe 2. They count giveaways as orders, not auctions. Yes, but however, when you go to sell our first item, it's auction number 2, not 1. It just seems weird. All right, here's something that's, I think, is a blessing and a curse for new sellers. Have you noticed that new seller shows, and I've been specifically searching for new seller shows, first time show has 60 people, 70 people because Whatnot's promoting it like crazy, but then their second or the third show, you could barely get people in. One, it's a blessing. You get so many in your first show, but I think it also may create unrealistic expectations. So if that is you, if that's happened to you, don't get discouraged. If Whatnot promoted all of our shows at different times, we would all have big shows and then small shows. It's not a personal thing. How often do you run the same items? I feel like I've been there, done that, and afraid of people getting bored. Hold on, there's a comment right before that. Let me see, I'm missing something. Honey, what is the comment that you're trying to point out to me? Oh, has anyone seen, I looked at that, and we talked about I Love Discounts comments. Okay. Oh, okay, so I missed a comment about inventory. Cynthia, I'm going to come right back to yours about running items. I missed a comment about, or a question about getting inventory, to keep up with inventory. So sourcing is a very touchy subject. Some sellers will not give up sources. Other sellers will tell you everything there is under the sun. Let me tell you this. Unicorn Dust Designs just did a couple of great seller talk shows about where to get sourced items. She was going to put a list on her website. I would suggest reaching out to her to see if you can get that. What I can say on sourcing, on getting good items, a lot of it depends what you sell, 1. But then 2, so depending on what you sell, I do vintage, so I'm only going to speak for vintage. 1 is making relationships, so it's knowing people. A lot of people have contacts with realtors, people that do estates. So a lot of times it's making those relationships, meeting people. You've got to get out there and do that. There's places like HiBid. You can go, so like online auctions, you can buy stuff. That's where I find is successful. There's always at thrift stores. I'm finding some of those becoming very overpriced, and I can't make the money I need to make off of things. Goodness, if you guys have ideas that you're willing to share, please throw them in the chat. But a lot of it depends on what you're doing. There's pallets, you can buy pallets. Whatnot is also a great place to source. Whatnot is typically lower priced items you can source. Church sales are awesome. So, there's some different ideas there. Hopefully that answered your question. But really, sourcing is something you learn as you grow as a reseller and you develop relationships with people. I know I source differently now than I did 2 years ago. I'm more picky, a lot more picky now. I'm more picky about how big an item is, how much it's going to cost me to ship it, what condition the item is. I used to sell a lot of chipped stuff at the beginning because that's all I can get. Now, I will now if the item's really good, but I am far more picky about any flaws on items. How often do you run the same item? Again, I think that's up to each individual. Thank you, East Coast Eclectic. How often? I think it's really up to what your style is. So this goes back to planning. How is your selling style going to be? My selling style is very niche. So I will run my items at least 2, sometimes 3 times in a show. The people that are in your show at the very beginning rarely are the people that are in there in the middle or the end. They come and go. If you look at your analytics, you will see your show analytics on your sellers tab and whatnot. It'll say how many people you had concurrently. So at one time in your show, what was the highest number you got? But then it'll also tell you how many people were in your show throughout the course of your show. I can guarantee you that number is going to blow you away. If you have never gone and looked at it, go and look at it. If you're feeling bad, if you didn't sell anything and you're feeling bad about yourself, or you didn't meet your goal and you're doing everything you can, go and look at that analytic number, because that will make you feel better. Because I can have 20 people concurrently at any given time in my show, but I may have had 300 who came in and out throughout the show, or if not more. And Kawaliki Collectibles? I'm slaughtering your name. Hold on. I cannot read the name so fast. What was the name? Okay, I'm going to go back to names. Let me look. Hold on. Collectibles. Kawaii Collectibles. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being in my show. And you are going to get some early 1900s postcards, some cool ephemera. It's Hawaiian with a K. Hawaii with a K. Kauai? Kauai Collectibles. There we go. Oh, I just broke my table. Okay. That's what happens when you stand on a metal piece that you shouldn't stand on. Okay. Let's see. I use Whatnot to source inventory. Okay. Running your items. Some Kawaii is beautiful. Oh, okay. Is that what it means, beautiful? How cool is that? So beautiful collectibles. I have learned something today. Thank you. I will slaughter anybody's name. Please don't take it personally. Sometimes I don't even say mine properly, so it is not anything personal. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. I'm all interested in how to pronounce things. I like reading all about this now. Show your items as many times as you want. It's not the same people. I have shown items at the beginning of the show and been like, nobody's interested. And then shown it later and it got bid up crazy. So 2 or 3 times. Do it to the way you feel comfortable. Now, okay, this is not scientific whatsoever, and I don't know if anybody, other seller is going to do this. I just go by my gut. I go by how I feel. If I feel icky showing an item, that's it. I'm never showing it again. And I don't know how to quantify that. I don't know how to explain that. But when I show an item, either I am behind this item, I'm backing it, I support the sale of it, I am like, I'm going to stand behind my item, or I'm like, okay, creepy dolls. I just sent some creepy dolls to Southern Charm. I showed those creepy dolls on one show one time, and I'm like, okay, these are creepy dolls. I couldn't get behind my item. If I feel that way about an item, I never show it again. It's gone. So that's one that guides me into what I'm sourcing, but that too, it also guides me how many times I'm showing it. There's other items. Do you add unsold to future shows? Absolutely, Cynthia. Always add unsold items to future shows. I do. Now, I don't do full shows of it. I have done, if I do a show on a Saturday night and it bombs, I may do the exact same show, just exact 100% copy the next morning, Sunday morning. And for some reason, that's always worked for me. But usually I'll try, you love the creepy dolls. I'm glad you love the creepy dolls. Usually I'll try to mix 2 or 3 old items in with newer items. You know what? If you have regulars in your room, they're going to see it. They're going to know. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I saw that last week. As long as you're still pulling in fresh items, I think it's okay. because eventually somebody's going to come into your show and they're going to buy it. I tell my husband this all the time when he's like, that wasn't a very good buy. Look how long that's been sitting on the shelf. Everything sells eventually. Now, you have to decide for yourself how long you want to hold it on your shelf, but everything sells eventually. There is a buyer for everything. What is just the price or the item itself? I sourced a few items yesterday that I'm so excited about. Yeah, see, baby need shoes. That's what I mean. Like, I've got to be behind my items. If I get the ick from my items, I won't show them again. And sometimes it could be like nice vintage stuff, but I'm just like, I can't sell this. I can't get behind the item for whatever reason. I mean, it may just be a vase. No sense to it. It's a feeling. Let's see. Let me see if I missed. I searched a few. I'm trying to just see if I missed anything. I like Whatnot as a sourcing avenue, but the shipping makes my resale price high. Correct. If I want to recoup what is cost me to get the item to my item. Exactly. So, but Whatnot, the prices are usually lower, and if you're buying more to fill up the box, hold on. I'm sorry, my dear. What are you trying to show me? Okay, hold on. My husband's pointing out a comment that I skipped, and I'm trying to find it, and I cannot find it. Can you tell me what the comment said? Mary, you made a comment about shipping. Would you mind putting that back in there? Because I am not finding it, but my husband says I need to address it. Sourcing items on Whatnot, yes, you have to pay shipping, but if you're going to some of the auction sites online, you pay shipping. If you're driving to Goodwill, you're paying for the gas and your time. So you got to think about it in the big picture. All of that goes into your pricing. So I may find something at Goodwill for $2.99, but it also, I live 40 minutes from a Goodwill. So I've spent, 40 minutes driving there, 40 minutes driving back, plus the gas that it took. So you got to kind of think about it in big picture. That's how I look at it. That is why I do not buy Tupperware. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Southern Charm, I missed it. I'm so sorry. I sell action figures, and I found that buying in bulk lots is there you go. You can do bulk lots. So hold on, I'm trying to go back and see this comment. My husband's like, you got to talk about this. Mary, first few minutes, people don't bid because they are still paying shipping. I try to sell an irresistible couple items to break the ice. It's working. That is an awesome comment. I'm glad my husband he was like, go read this comment and make sure you address this. I have found that as soon as one person bids, it's an avalanche effect. I don't quite know why. I don't know the psychology behind it. But as soon as one person takes the leap, it opens the door so that everybody else can walk through it. There's something to it. So absolutely. So because they're still paying shipping, but tying that back to shipping, maybe explaining shipping. I mean, so I do free shipping now, and I have to say that over and over, and you're going to hear me can say it, because you know what? People don't expect that when they come into the room. So if you're doing reduced shipping, trying to hey, yep, you're going to pay $9.21 for this first item, but your next 4 are going to be free, your next 2 are going to be free, whatever it may be. So trying to help them rationalize, again, you're removing that shipping barrier from the customer by rationalizing it, by making it okay for them. Or I'm sorry, you're removing that buying barrier by making it okay to spend $9.21, right? And sometimes that's our job as sellers, is to help your buyer feel okay about something. Let's see. I start with heavy things so they get there you go. That's a good strategy. Start with something big up front instead of trying to sell a pen and they're like, I ain't paying $9.21 for shipping for that pen. But if I'm going to sell this, well, no, I wouldn't sell the table, but sell something big, they're like, oh, now it's worth it. Now I can fill my box with the rest of the stuff. Oh, but now we have the opposite. I try to put a lightweight item first to break the ice. Okay, yes, awesome finds. Natural State of High was talking about this. Are you guys tapping the screen? I'm not asking just to do it for me, but supposedly there's cool hot dog emojis, and I can't see what you're doing if you are because we're on a computer.
I'll give you the fireworks.
We'll give you fireworks, but Whatnot's brought you some other cool stuff for today. I can't wait to go into other shows and tap screens. Happy 4th of July, everybody. All right. Any other questions? Now I'm going to finish up my list here, and then we're probably going to go raid somebody. You can only see hearts. So earlier today, people were saying that there were hot dogs and eagles and cupcakes and some other things when they were tapping. Let's see. How about if you need a mod? Think that through too. Part of your planning. Do I need a mod? If you're just starting out and you have 5 people in your chat, probably not. But for me, even right now, there's 33 people in here. I'm not going to say only, because 33 is a good amount of people. I need a mod for 33 people. I have a hard time keeping up with an active chat with 33 people. My husband's vital to help keep me on track and up with what people are saying. I have noticed a lot of sellers putting little cards in every order as a thank you. Do you think it helps with return buyers? Oh, yes. Kawaii Collectibles. I hope I got it right this time. Absolutely. That's branding. You've just hit on my hot button right there. I put postcards or business cards in with every single order. Every chance you can come up with to put your name in front of a buyer, prospective buyer, past buyer, do it. Putting something in, even if you don't have time to handwrite it, I get printed ones. The number of orders I used to handwrite, but then I was lucky enough to get enough orders that I cannot handwrite all of them. Yes, put something in the box. I talked about this last week. So if you weren't here last week and you didn't hear it, I'm going to say it again. Your return name on your Whatnot label for when you print your labels should be your username on Whatnot, not your personal name. I don't know who Bob Smith is. I know who Kawaii Collectibles, I recognize that name. I won't recognize Bob Smith, right? Put something in your box, absolutely. Okay, so we're getting Statue of Liberties and we're getting flags if we're tapping. You had to show, Jory, you had to show that it was free shipping and my mind read reduced shipping. I finally realized and then I bought, but only after what I was considering sold. I say, there you go. So this is why it's so important. Think about yourself as a buyer. When you go into a show, do you expect free shipping? Probably not. We're not conditioned. We're not Amazon, right? That we don't have Prime on Whatnot. So when I go to Amazon, I expect free shipping. And when I see shipping, I'm like, because I have Prime, right? But when you're on Whatnot, most people don't do free or reduced. So naturally, we are conditioned to add in $9.21 on the price before we bid. It's a natural habit because of just the way Whatnot works. So as sellers, what do we need to do? We need to constantly remind people. I have reduced shipping today, y'all. I've capped it at $9.21 or I've capped it at $6. You're not going to pay over $6. You only $6. That's it. You have to keep saying it. Remember, people are coming through your room constantly. So if you're in the show and you hear a seller say it 20 times, forgive them. Just, you heard it, cool. You don't have to worry about it after that. But the new people coming in haven't heard it and they need to hear it because buyers don't expect it. So as sellers, we have to keep saying it. And particularly if you are doing free shipping, because free shipping is even more rare than reduced shipping. We have to condition people to expect that in your show. Definitely fill your show notes also because sometimes I'm wondering what shipping, there you go. That's a perfect place to put it in your show notes. Now, I think I did put it in my show notes. So I've put our free shipping. I have advantage of having a husband who'll flash it across the screen. But I'm also saying it, talking about it all the time. Every buyer wins free shipping with every purchase to date. I love it right there. Every buyer wins free shipping. That is also going to kind of be my catch if I'm ever asked, do I do giveaways? I do giveaways. I give away free shipping with every order. Okay, so things like that. So we're just talking about, we're talking about a mod before I answer questions, but keep putting your questions in. If you offer $9.21 shipping, do you pay the extra cost if they buy a lot? Yes, you do, Sam, I was. So if you cap it, you're paying over and above it. But keep in mind, if you're doing reduced shipping, depending on what you sell, this is very specific to what you sell. If you do $9.21 pays for a priority flat rate box. In a flat rate box, you can ship up to 70 pounds, as long as it fits in that box. It also does a regular priority box. So if you're selling jewelry and you're doing reduced shipping at $9.21, odds are your extra is probably going to be kind of low, right? If you're selling vintage decor, you're probably going to be paying, because quite frequently I have to break orders up into 4 or 5 boxes. So I would suggest, my personal advice, again, you do what is best for your business. My personal advice, if you were brand new, don't offer any free or reduced shipping for a couple shows. See how much shipping, you can go back and look. What did my people buy? How much did they pay in shipping? And then you can decide how to adjust your shipping. Wondering how you give away free shipping, especially after they already bought. Your giveaway, so I give away free shipping because I don't charge shipping whatsoever. So when you buy something, you will never pay shipping in my show. When you buy something in I Love Discount show, for the most part, they do free shipping. I think on just about every single show. You don't pay shipping in there. Green 13, most of their shows. 9 Dimes, most of their shows are free shipping. So when you purchase, you are charged 0 for shipping. We're giving away free shipping. So these are all buyers. Reduced, the same thing. People who are offering reduced, those sellers are paying something for you as a buyer. They are giving you a discount over and above. You're only paying for the first 5 pounds. Over that, they're paying for you. When you do this as a seller, when you offer free or reduced shipping, you're giving away something. You're giving your customers a discount. You're providing something for them. It usually leads to higher bidding prices. As a buyer, remember that. Bid more. If you don't have to pay shipping, you can bid more because now you have more money to spend on the items you want, right? Hickville Junk Rescue always does reduced. How do you make a Givey free shipping? You cannot make a Givey free shipping. There is absolutely no way you will, the Givey is always free for the buyer. The buyer never pays shipping on Giveys. As a seller, you will always pay the shipping on a Givey. So that's just the way it is. But buyers never pay. Here's the other thing. I'm not big on giveaways for my selling shows anymore. But if you are doing a giveaway in your selling shows, make sure you're letting them know. If you're giving away this cup, well, let's do something smaller. You're giving away not a sticker. I'm not talking about a plain white envelope. I'm talking about an item that you're paying at least $4.36, whatever that 3 ounce and above rate is. You're paying that. That means they get $4 of free shipping on their order. Make sure as a seller that you are telling your buyers that. Not everybody knows that. They don't know that the seller is paying $4 of their shipping, so that next item they look at, instead of paying $9, they're only paying 4 something or 5 something. So make sure you're communicating that. It's part of our job as a seller to help let our buyers know, hey, your shipping price is down. You're only paying this much. People don't automatically know these things. I've seen people do that how you do it. Okay. Outstanding tournaments above average new buyers. 9 Dimes and I Love Discounts is having a little conversation here. Y'all, I would be watching this conversation. They are talking about free shipping and the effects that they have seen. 9 Dimes is saying they have 20% above average new buyers since they started offering their free shipping shows. 20% average new buyers. I've noticed the same thing on my show. My new buyers are doubling. Not in every show. I've had a couple shows already double, but definitely increase in new buyers. And it's not just for free shipping. I mean, it works for reduced shipping too, but I'm going to say it. People may disagree with me, and you are going to hear other sellers adamantly to say that I am wrong, and that is okay. Free shipping is the way of the future. Eventually, when most of the sellers are offering free shipping and you're not, who are the buyers going to go to? Eventually. Right now, I think free shipping is the exception, and there's a handful of us out there doing it. It is the way of the future. Oh, thank you, baby need shoes. Hickville Junk Rescue. You can do a postcard and set the weight at 1 pound so the winner will have free shipping, but only works at the beginning before anybody buys. Correct, you could do that. I would caution against that. Here's why I would caution against it. Just do reduced shipping instead. Personal opinion, I would caution against that because when I look back at my giveaways, not all my giveaways really turn into buyers. The percentage isn't high enough for me. For me, it's not high enough to risk not paying $9.21 to send a postcard to have that person not buy. I would rather just give them free shipping or give them reduced shipping to entice them to bid on something. My personal opinion. However, there is nothing wrong in what you're saying. You are absolutely true that if you set the weight to 1 pound on a postcard, you as a seller will pay $9.21, and then whatever the buyer buys after that, if they're within that 5 pound limit or you're using a flat rate, they will not pay any more. So when they run it in the system, how do they put it in the shop? I agree with you about free shipping. I'm too new right now. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, what you're making. For me, when I do free shipping, and I think if I love discounts and 9 dimes want to chime in, we the kind of the rule of thumb is we put our weights in at 1 ounce. Everything is that 0-1 ounce weight category. That way we calculate shipping on the back end. So we initially pay, what is it, $4.26 or $4.32 every time when that order goes through. And then we add the exact weight on the back end to only pay the exact difference. Ms. Vivian, do you just increase prices slightly to offset? I can't fathom, it hurts me. I've increased very few of my prices. Some of them, yes. On my existing items that I already had in my inventory, I did not increase unless it was a couple things. Like I had some sugar and creamer sets that I had for $10, I made them $12. But as a standard rule of thumb, I did not increase. Now, I am changing my method on what I add to inventory. If I do a mug, it's going to be at least $8 or $9, but I'm trying to add 2 or 3 items together now, being more conscious about how I'm adding and how I'm bundling stuff when I'm putting it into inventory, so that it justifies a higher bid price, but their customers also getting something, buyers also getting something. So maybe instead of 1 mug, I would do a set for $14. So instead of selling 1 at $7, I'm going to sell 2 at $14. And now at least that $14 covers the shipping. So I'm approaching it differently. Also, I'm not doing discounts or giveaways in my selling shows. And when I say discounts, I would frequently put something up and say, okay, I'm going to knock $4 off this price. I'm going to drop this down to 10. I'm going to do this. I quit doing that because I'm giving free shipping. And I feel that I'm giving more of a value in free shipping than I am knocking prices off for starting bids. Does the weight of the giveaway, a heavy cup, impact the weight a buyer has left in their box if they have already purchased something? Yes, it does. If they've already purchased something, no, because it's like but if you can't, yes and no. It depends what they bought, and if it can still fit in 1 box, you may have to do another box, just depending on what they bought first. 9 dimes agrees. You do the 1 ounce thing, yes. So if you offer free shipping, does Whatnot charge a seller $9.21 if you? Yes, they do. Sam, I was. Yes, they do if you have your settings to flat rate. I do not use flat rate at the beginning. I put everything in as 1 ounce. My settings are ground up to a pound, and then priority for 1 to 5 pounds and ground after that. And I put everything in at 1 ounce. And then I choose when I'm packing if it fits into a flat rate, particularly if it's over 5 pounds, it goes into a flat rate. And that's an adjustment you can make during the shipping process on the back end. Let's see. Well, it's a good thing for the buyer if you do reduce shipping because it reduces how much they pay. Absolutely. Unless I want, like, hey, Sam, that's the other thing. People can rate you on giveaways. So be careful if you're doing giveaways. People can rate you. You can get a 1. You can get a bad review on a giveaway. Those people suck. Don't be that person. But it happens. It's there. But yeah, you don't have to enter a giveaway. If you don't want it, don't enter. I do the same thing. I mean, some stuff I'm like, oh, I want that. And then I'm sad when I don't win it. But so in order of shipping from top to bottom, first class, priority, then ground. Ms. Vivian, yes, first class, 0 to 1 ounce. Then that's only if you're doing plain white envelope. Yes, you're right. Okay, yes, first class, got it. I've seen it. Imagine complaining about something. Yeah, we've had 3 negative reviews on 3 in 1 week. I love discounts. Wow. The only saving grace with that is if you're a volume seller, you'll get enough hopefully to wash them out really quick. But yeah, that just sucks. People are mean sometimes. All right, y'all. We do ground up to a pound and then flat and for everything else. I do flat rate whenever I can. I find it hard just because vintage decor sometimes doesn't fit in flat rates. I've been trying more and more, and this is it. We go back to planning. I make a conscious effort now to use priority and flat rate whenever possible. I used to, at the very beginning, just grab my brown boxes. Now I make a very focused effort. Can I fit this in this flat rate box? We've talked about a lot today. Y'all, this has been a good chat. I've enjoyed hanging out with you. I think we're going to go raid somebody now. We've been on for about 2 hours, and that's pretty much my talking limit for the day. I just like that Whatnot doesn't unbundle until 70 pounds and then unbundle after the show is needed. Yes, unbundle it. Exactly. I totally agree with you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Please check back. Hey, at 11 o'clock, I am doing a Butter Pat show. I have over 100 Butter Pats, nothing but Butter Pats. That's all I am doing. $5 starts. That is super cheap for Butter Pats. A lot of shows coming up this weekend and a lot of great sellers, so please check them out. Let's see who else is on really quick. I'm going to check on my phone here so I can see who is on. Minimize show. Community. Who is on? Oh, thank you so much, Ms. Vivian. I appreciate it. And Southern Charm. Y'all are the best. Is there anybody in community that I know? Natural State of High, you're supposed to be on in 23 minutes. I can't keep talking for 23 minutes. You know what? Green 13 is on. Let's go see Green 13. We talk about Green 13 all the time. I don't think I ever raid Green 13. They are doing jewelry today, so we're going to go raid them. Y'all have a good weekend. We will see you soon. Are you doing a closing? Or should I just raid? Tell me. All right.